There we go. Okay, welcome everyone. Namaste. Akasha here. Thank you for joining us. And today I'm so excited because we love Donna. Hi, Donna.
Hello.
And we love understanding the spiritual weather. We love understanding what's happening. And so this has been a big year, been a snake year, right? We have lots of shows here. Make sure you subscribe below. You look at the playlists. There's a spiritual weather report playlist. And you can find all of the full moons, all the shows we've done with Donna, everything about the snake year, the Chinese New Year that we're in, Saturn, Pluto, all the big things that are happening. Why? Because you don't need to be an astrologer to live your life, but it really helps a lot when you have this kind of inside information. So you use this to apply to, well, what do I do with these energies? Or how do I prepare? Or how do I interpret what's happening to me? Because what I love about Donna is she helps us to interpret these energies in a way that let us know, well, personally, what if I get really emotional? Or what if I feel like I want to just rush out and spend all my money? Or what if I feel like sad for myself? Like where are these coming from? Of course, they're coming from within us. Of course, they're part of our spiritual path, but the universe is always working for us. So even when we're hitting a square or something like Saturn or Aries, that strong head, we're going to find out how to take these really tense and intense energies because we've been through a lot this year, right? March, wow, how transformational was that? April to me was just like, okay, now we're just going to shake all the dead leaves off of you. And now we are in this May, beautiful metamorphosis, magic, spring, renewal, flowers, and yet we have bam, some big energies come along. So pay attention to how you feel, what you're reacting to, what you're thinking, what is drawing your power away from your center, where you are not living in your own authority. You are the creator of your reality. You're the only person inside of you that can choose what to focus on. So you can say, oh, it's Mercury retrograde and everything's going to go wrong in my life. Or you can listen to Donna, or you can come here and you can empower yourself to say, okay, these are what those energies about. How could I use it? What's another way to look at it? What's a way to understand that today isn't the day to go rush around and do all my errands? Maybe I should be sitting by the lake. Maybe I should be alone. So take these because they're here to support you on your path. Okay, good. Doesn't matter what the rest of the world is doing. Welcome to my sacred space. Let's go ahead and dive in. This is our beautiful Donna, and you can find her at donnastellhorn.com. I definitely recommend that you go subscribe to her YouTube channel. It's phenomenal. Okay, she's putting out so much content. It's ridiculous. And if you get on her email list, also, she gives you incredible. I mean, everything you send out is so powerful, so helpful, so practical. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So she's a astrologer, which is a really very small way of saying like, I don't know, what are you, 40-year expert or something, right? At this point. And the author of 20 books. The new one this year that came out is the Chinese astrology book. You want to get that because it is all of the signs in a really beautiful format that you can use. She's a board member of, what is that?
NCGR, it's the National Council of Geocosmic Research.
There you go. I knew it was something fabulous. And she does feng shui, Chinese astrology. She does birth readings, lessons. I've taken lessons from you for years. All kinds of things. If you want to see where the money is in your chart, if you want to understand what's the next year, if you want to understand what's the best day to start a project, all these things, go see Donna. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. And say thank you for being here again.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, especially with so much stuff going on. And there's, like always stuff to talk about, but now more than ever, 2025 is so transformative. Here I am wishing that we were in those calmer days back a year ago.
Dragon days.
So, but it's mostly because some of these slower moving planets are now moving into a new sign.
Mm.
And it's that transition that is so pivotal for most people. Even if you don't have planets that are being hit, we just all notice how there is such a shift happening. And so one of those shifts is Saturn is going into Aries, and it's doing this on May 24th, and it hasn't done this in about 28 and a half years.
So what is
So
that? What year would that be?
it was around 1996 that this
Okay.
happened before, and it was there until 1999. So if you go back in time and you say, okay, what was my life like during that time? Just to give you a couple of things, it was when the euro was introduced, right? When there was the first cloned sheep, Dolly the sheep, right? So we also had the WTO was founded. It was officially established, and a small book came out called Harry Potter.
Seriously, wow, that is
Seriously.
very interesting. That did launch like a whole era of completely different. It's like it opened a world, I think, to people's minds and imaginations.
Yes, yeah. So funny. It launched first in the United Kingdom. And so there was a little independent bookstore in my neighborhood, and I saw that they were going to do a midnight book signing. And I thought, oh, these poor people, I mean, what are they doing? We'll just go and support them. And so my husband and I went and just, like, because we figured they get nobody. And it was for this Harry Potter book, and the line was it was massive, and I'm like, oh, here's something I don't know about.
Yeah. I actually bought the first Harry Potter book on cassette at Half Price Books.
Wow.
I was like completely like whatever. My kids were born in 97, and so they were born right in this Saturn Aries thing.
Right, right.
And I knew it had come out, but I think that they were already it was a few years, you know. They
Mhm.
were already there, and I saw it at Half Price Books, and I thought, oh, for $5, I'll throw it in the car.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah,
Now my
exactly.
kids are 28 and they're still fans.
So the energy is, besides, like Harry, you're a wizard type of energy, is this about relying on ourselves and breaking free of the old dynamic. I mean, from that Harry Potter standpoint, I mean, the kid leaves the family, goes away to school, and creates this new identity.
Yeah,
So,
discovers who he really is. He does break free. You know, he
mhm,
was living in a cupboard under the stairs.
yes, yeah, and the euro is kind of the flip side of that, where everything was rather, like, okay, we have to change from Deutschmarks to euro or to lira to francs and all of this. So, and now we get this unified currency. So to bring us together to be one. So therefore, it was we're going to be this independent set of countries that are going to now help each other. So we had both the idea of breaking away from something that was restrictive or not letting us live up to our potential, and then as well as let's join forces with the allies and make a connection. So, and
Hmm.
proving that, like a lot of people predicted that when the euro came out that France would stop being France and Germany would stop
Yes.
being Germany, but that did not happen.
No.
Everybody still remained their individual selves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. That's very interesting. So it's the energy that manifested in different ways. Like we get to see that scale or the polarity or the duality of why these energies can harm or heal, why they might be good or bad instead of
Mhm.
just good or bad. They have all different variations on there. So does that have to do with Saturn? Because that when you said, you know, they took the euro and all these different currencies and then created a unified structure with one.
Mhm.
That sounds very Saturn. Let's organize this. Let's
Yes,
get this
let's
in
get
order.
organized and give it
Yeah.
boundaries and rules and things like that.
Mm.
And the energy here was also though that we can still remain individuals. So we've
Yes.
been doing
Yes.
Saturn in Pisces, which is we have to get assimilated into something because there is no boundaries at that
Yeah.
point. And Saturn's been kind of like, you know, everything that has boundaries has been deteriorating.
Yeah.
When you live near the ocean, right, the ocean water, it basically starts to deteriorate everything that has a structure.
I'm in a testament to it. I literally just had that conversation an hour ago with somebody who fixes things here
Mm,
because I live on the beach. It all just falls apart. It
yes.
just literally, I have grabbed a doorknob
Mhm.
and opened it that looked like nothing was wrong with it, a metal one, and it fell off and the entire inside was rust,
Yeah.
dust.
Yes. Yeah. 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 So this idea now with the Saturn in Aries is there's this is we're individuals again. And we have to take that individual responsibility. And we can, though, still join up with other individuals who will remain individuals. And together we can work together.
So not codependent anymore.
Not codependent and not just following the party lines,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Having a brain
saying
of your own.
yes. Yeah. And so while Saturn is going to help with this structure, it's also the disciplinarian.
Yeah.
So that means that if we don't do this, if we don't, like if we try to slip back into old habits, Saturn will come and give us a talking to. Now, we will have a little bit still of Saturn in Pisces because Saturn will go retrograde. It goes retrograde on
Oh,
September 1st,
I
and
was worried
then it will
about
be
that.
back in Aries on February 13. So, because there is still something we need to go back and get.
Oh, okay. So I want to get a visual of this. We're in Pisces with Saturn's in Pisces. We're going to go into Aries and then September 1st, is that what you
Yep.
said?
Yep.
Through February
13.
13th. Okay. So that's a pretty long time. September, October, November, December, January, February. That's like 6 months.
Yes.
Okay. So 6 months, then we go back into Pisces and we're doing retrograde energies, right?
Correct.
Those
So,
together. Okay. Got
so
it.
when Saturn changes signs, you always have to leave something because Saturn won't let you take it forward. So
Mm,
this 6 month period is what is it that you are going to let go of? Saturn, sorry, Pisces, while it rules, things that are wonderful like spirituality and psychic ability and artistic qualities and acting and all of that, also rules addictions and
right.
fears.
Oh, wow.
So, and escapes, especially unhealthy
Mm.
escapes.
Well, I bet that's a big one right now because, when the stress level goes up, like it is right now for people in the world or certain countries,
Mhm.
when things seem like they're falling apart, changing, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's how your job is done, how you're paid, or how the banking system, or they just updated your computer and you don't know where the hell anything is, right?
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
have, we have so many levels of that. To me, that intensity that's happening now is very intentional. It's like a crystal,
Mhm.
pressure, heat,
Yeah.
darkness. We're going to squeeze all that stuff out of you, right? Squeeze those impurities out of you or whatever.
Mhm.
But what I like about what you said is that those addictions and those fears that Saturn won't let you take forward, right?
Mhm.
It's a little like an intervention
Yeah.
because everybody has a way of surviving the day,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? Telling yourself stories, trying to not look ever. And this is about, feels to me like this is more about getting serious, being responsible for your spiritual self, paying attention to what you consume. Are you scrolling a bunch of crap? Are you,
Mhm.
texting a million people? Are you telling everybody your story and listening to their opinions? What are you putting inside of you? Then what addiction do you have? Could you stop Facebook scrolling? Could you stop telling everybody your stuff? Could you stop
Mhm.
watching the news? Could you stop being negative? Could you stop
Mhm.
believing this is all terrible? Right? I think that because
Mhm.
that's what's creating more of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there's anything that's proving entropy, it's Pisces, right? And the entropy is that if you leave a system alone, it falls apart. Like if you, because, and this is the basic reason, is because there's dust, right? Because eventually something just gets dirty or chaotic or something.
Mhm.
So it takes this constant maintenance, this constant diligence to just maintain our lives. And yet we add to it so much by saying, I'm so angry that it's this way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everything's a reflection of us. So the energies are here to try to show you you're generating this. What is Saturn showing for you is going to be different than what it shows for me.
Hmm.
Right. And
Yeah.
I know from working with you that you'll tell me, like, oh, these eclipses that are coming up, they're going to affect you like this. Or, oh, you don't have much, Chris does. And then I get kicked in the ass. And I go, what happened? You go, oh, well, you're in the house with him and, you
Yeah. You
needed the
share the
energy
energy.
more. So, yeah.
You share the energy. When you live with somebody, you get to utilize all their energy, but you also get hit with their transits. So, and that's why, like it's helpful. We should try to lean in and do our own transits so we don't pass that energy off to somebody else.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
this
so
is
this
fascinating.
So Aries is about the basics of survival and taking action and being a leader. So this is a time to figure out like what's important, what's a real priority, not what are your priorities, but what is the priority.
Mm,
And really carving out some time and working on it every day. Saturn is work, and Aries it wants to jump in and do something.
they seem like good pair. I mean, in terms of their energies, Aries is like, let's go, let's make it happen, but Saturn might be standing in the way like a brick wall, I guess.
It's it's not and the easiest of combinations, but it's not terrible. So Saturn in Pisces has been more difficult because we're trying to build something with materials that are all bendy.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, yeah, I get that. That's just funny.
but now it is so Aries is like a match in the
As a
darkness.
fire starter.
Right. So let's say you're in this cave, it's completely dark, and there's candles, there's a lantern, there's all these things. So you light the match and you've got to light one of these things right away
Yeah,
because there's only this much fuel. And so that's the intensity of it. Because in the total darkness, you don't know where the candle is until you light the
right.
match. But now you got to get over there and light the candle. And
Wow.
so that's the Saturn pressure of it, of this
Ah,
thought that I want to do this, I have to do this, but it has to be perfect. That's Saturn.
right,
So that's why it's, we still we have to light the match and we have to try.
right. So the Saturn energy being pressure,
Mhm.
right? And passion, like pressure to do that. The structure,
Mhm.
does it get into working more with your logic or your instincts?
I think it will work with either
Well,
because it just
okay.
wants the work.
It just yeah, right? It's that
Yeah,
inner authority though. Is it one of those things that helps you to claim your inner authority or feels like it stands in the way of it because it keeps telling, being like that Zen master, no, you're not ready.
both. Both again.
Both
Like
again.
like it is the one that says, "Okay, I'm not the authority, but if I work at this, I can be."
Ah, okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
so how, I mean, sometimes we're so happy because we're sitting on, in the chair on the beach, right? So and that's not Saturn. But
That's Saturn. That's true. No.
sometimes we're really happy because we had this super productive day where we got things cleaned up and we got things filed and we dashed off an article and it got accepted. And those sort of days, the days where you get up early, you train for that marathon you're going to run, and you do the whole training, that is Saturn. It's a it's a feeling of I've accomplished something that
Mm,
was hard.
how Midwestern. Um, that was my upbringing too. So,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
okay. And so then we're talking about Aries is also the first sign, right? Because so there's
correct.
some of that energies of it's the first sign. It's very bold. You've got that big, beat it, very self-assured. I know I used to have an Aries friend who was like, "Well, I'm the best. Of course, I'm the best. What,
Yes.
who would
Yes.
question that?" But
We
it's
we
different than
get that
Leo.
confidence
Yeah.
with the Saturn to say, okay, I'm confident that I can accomplish this hard thing. That's fantastic. And
Yeah.
that's the thing that then is going to lead to our sense of mastery over something. To
Right.
say, I'm really good at this.
So are these both very masculine energies? Because Aries tends to be very masculine, very, driven, very ego, very builds, make something happen in the physical world, wanting that independence to do what you want, but, having this, I don't know, is it initiation? Initiate?
So Aries is quite masculine energy, but interesting. Saturn rules both Capricorn and Aquarius, and Capricorn is feminine, and Aquarius is masculine. And so, and I just heard this little snippet of a guy's lecture saying that, like women, evolutionarily speaking, are the stronger ones because we go into menopause and we still live after that. And so the evolutionary need, which is just to reproduce,
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
something so important about women and women's
Yes.
power that we don't
Yes.
have to just constantly be reproducing, that we can survive after we no longer reproduce.
There's no grandmothers in nature. I learned this a while ago. It's humans, whales, and maybe
Mm.
dolphins, but I can't
Yeah,
remember right
yeah,
now.
yeah. He
Is it
said there were
dolphins?
three.
Three. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
three species. That's it.
yeah.
Everything else, as soon as that, like you said, the reproductive thing in the female is done, like turtles. I'm walking on my beach every morning, and every morning I'm finding 2 to 3 turtle tracks, fresh turtle tracks, where they came up
Mhm.
to lay their eggs.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I take a picture and I mark the pin and I send it to the lady who comes and protects it and whatever. So, but then they go off, and my understanding, at least from when I grew up, was they swim off and die.
Mm.
They're whether they have more than one round of eggs, I'm not sure. So I could
Yeah.
be wrong, but that's what they told us as a kid was like, they lay their eggs and then they go away and die. So there's no mom when somebody wakes up like we have,
Mhm.
but they're done.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So the Saturn party is to build something that lasts.
Mm.
And whether that is a body of work or a legacy or a level of expertise, so then you can go and teach. And then Aries being the first sign says this may be something new that you're doing, or this may be a new energy you're putting behind something you'd already started.
Yeah. How much of Aries energy is helpful for kind of reclaiming your own, sovereignty or leadership or vision of yourself as
The,
the
yeah, this is so important for that.
mm.
it it is, and I hate to quote the pull yourself by up by your own bootstraps, that
I like to
saying.
pull your big girl panties, put your big girl panties on. That's my
Yeah.
favorite one.
Yeah, the bootstraps one that apparently came around in the 1800s and was used as sarcasm to say
Yes.
nobody can do this.
Oh, wow. And now people, I mean, my parents said that to me. I didn't know what it meant, but I
Right.
knew that it meant, I mean, literally, I knew that it meant like just pick yourself up and get on with it and stop whining.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is that, we have to take responsibility, that's Saturn, for ourselves. And we see it, of course, here in the United States with this idea that services that we were expecting or getting in the past may not be there anymore.
Yeah. 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 Well, it seems like that's everywhere, right? Is the idea of it. Like I study the cosmology of ancient cultures and right now living with the Maya, writing about the Maya and all that. I'm very interested and I keep going deeper and deeper with that. And a lot of indigenous cultures now, a lot of ancient cultures, we're more aware of like that they were like, hey, this is a big time, like you look at the, the Kali Yuga or whatever, right? There's all these different systems that say, hey, guess what's happening now? And the Maya say that now is the time that the earth splits. So which way do you want to go?
Right.
You've got to decide if you're going to go with the light planet or stay with the
Yeah. Yeah.
circus.
Yeah.
And
That's the
it's
Pluto and Aquarius
ah,
part that we're doing for the 20 years is find your tribe. And
mhm,
that's the idea of the euro. We can still be France, but we can have the euro currency.
it can be a tribe. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. It's a
Yeah.
good idea. The planet needs that coming back together.
Mhm.
So, what else does this energy help with, or how can we prepare for it?
Well, it's very entrepreneurial
Hmm,
because Saturn itself loves business. It's trying to build something, and business is a good marker for that. I mean, you can build a house too. So, but Saturn means it's going to be hard. And so we see, let's on just building a house, maybe there's not so much help that you can get. And the building materials cost more, et cetera. So it's it's saying not waiting for the right time or thinking, oh, I should have done this ages ago. It's just saying, okay, this is going to be hard, and that's okay because it's Saturn.
yeah, and it's always going to be that way. I mean, it's always like if you've ever bought real estate over a period of time, it's been a long time since I bought my first real estate, and
Mm.
it's always that way. You're always like, oh, I wished I'd bought it last year. I wish I'd bought it 10 years ago. Oh, this isn't
Yeah,
a good time. It's always that way. Yeah.
right, right. When we say it's, like this is too hard now because of the economy,
Stop giving your
but
power
we
away.
said that last year when
Exactly.
the economy was better.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so that is, it's just Aries says start now.
And this is something that demands a lot of inner strength, a lot of focus, a lot of like you're ready to really
It
finally get up
it
and do it,
gives you
act. It gives you.
that.
Okay, good.
It gives you that strength.
Okay.
You just have to start.
Yeah. So
So
what's the beginning energy? What's the spark that can help people start in this?
it's about clarity. So with the Aries energy, there is a single focus.
Mm.
And that is, let's say, it's okay, I'm gonna write that book. So the single focus energy is all right, let's start with the basic outline, and you carve out a little time every day to just continue to hack at it. And you might stare at that blank page for that whole hour that you're sitting there. But if you do that every day, it won't be blank for long.
No, my gosh, how can you stare at a blank page? I mean, you do if you're thinking I have to write X, but if you just say, let me just start writing something. I don't care what it
Mhm.
is. Something
Yeah.
will happen. Magic
Yes.
happens, right? Just
Yes.
write that.
Yes. And that's very Aries too. If we just start, then things happen.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I think it starts with picking something, not anymore waiting for someone to say, this is your purpose, but
Right.
you yourself say, this is the thing that keeps drawing me back. So what about this thing does my soul need to figure out?
Yeah. Well, it's really, I mean, along with everything else that's happening right now, the bigger picture and in the year and everything, it's really like another step in our evolution, our spiritual evolution or our consciousness to say, to me, it feels very much like, okay, you can't keep playing the victim. You've got to stop wallowing around and like, oh no, there's this tragedy. Oh no, this person did that. Oh no, that didn't happen right. Who cares? At some point, you got to let go of everything, everyone around you and create a place that you live in,
Mhm.
right? Where you can be clear. And this is like spiritual maturity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like stop going like, oh, like you said, stop waiting. Oh, I wish I could talk to my higher self. Oh, why don't I see visions? Oh, I meditated for 50 years, but I'm still got a bad hip. Oh, whatever. Like, gosh, there's so many more wonderful things. And this is could be the time to shed all that identity with the snake
Mhm.
year energy, right? And then let Saturn kind of kick your butt into into taking some kind of action. Because it's when you're in action, you're going to have the intersection points. You're going to find things. They're going to be able to come to you.
So true. So true. I think it's so interesting that if we look back 1,000 years ago, people's lives were really hard, but they were very happy.
They were happy and it was simple.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was, they
it's
were connected to nature cycles more,
Mhm.
they didn't have this disconnect I'm not against anything we have in the modern world. It's just that we're stuck in reason, logic, and consumerism. We like
Yeah, but
that's the
now we
value.
have incredible abundance and the physical life is so much easier, but now we're miserable.
Miserable and unhealthy
Mhm. Yeah.
and poisoning everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a time for a reset. And we get
Mm.
this little bit of reset between May 24th and September 1st. And then we're going to go back into Pisces and take a hard look at what our escapes are, what our addictions are, what our fears are, and leave those at the door.
What a nice way to do this. It's almost like a curriculum
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, you've been in this now, you've been in this class for a while. Now we're going to take you to the advanced class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you got to go back to the other class because you'll know
Yep.
now what you didn't know and you can go clean that up. And then
Exactly.
next year you come. It's almost like going to a practice, 1 month practice class before you go to that next level of
It's
university.
exactly right, and it does give us perspective. As we go into Saturn and Aries, we will have a perspective of Saturn and Pisces, and we'll be able to go back and go, oh yeah, I don't want to do that old life anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a difference, though, to go from Pisces to Aries, to go from watery, intuitive, boundaryless, kind of meandering, wandering, no direct boundaries line to this fire, right? That wants to just boom, take action. And
Kind of.
yet,
Yeah.
is there, are there any things that help harnessing it? I don't even want to say getting used to it because it's like, it's almost like going from a dark cave out into the light. It's very
Correct.
different.
Yes. And it's kind of like being born, right?
Mm, yeah.
So because there's that
Oh, yeah.
formlessness of Pisces,
There we go.
and then you now have this form. And that's why I say it is to pick something to do. Pick something that you want to create during the Saturn and Aries time. And it's about 2.5 years. That's long enough to build a business or write a book or travel to Antarctica or whatever's on your list.
So you're going to have these, how many months do we have here? It's going to be like June, July, August, about 3 months, a little more than 3 months
Mhm.
to taste test. But
Yes.
you can be thinking about a fuller project that maybe now you're getting started.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Uh,
it's quite possible, like just like the undertow, what happens is you do get started on this new project, and then something from the past pulls you back in.
mm,
And just remember, this isn't losing ground. You just put a pin in what you started because you'll be back in February and then
yeah,
you'll hit the ground running.
yeah. And if this was organized in some kind of a, you know, uh, company structure or something, like, you go here, we're going to send you to Alaska for training, then you're going to come back, okay? And then we're going to send you back to Alaska. Like if you had that kind of concrete understanding of this,
Right.
I think people would have a much more like, oh, okay. But since it's this subtle energy that we may or may not feel is a priority to pay attention to or notice where it's going to show up. But I think I like seeing inside of me, time has a structure. I see
Yes.
days,
Well,
I see word,
and so we don't start to think come the fall, oh, I'm not good at persevering through this. I'm back doing the old stuff. No, you're supposed to. You're supposed to go back into it and then start to get rid of it, shed it, as you said, so that it's once and for all. You can say, wow, you know what? This much scrolling is not doing me any good, or this sugar is not doing me any good, or whatever the escape is.
right. What are the pitfalls? Because, obviously we don't want to resist. We want to pay attention, see if there's a door or whatever. Um, I guess we're coming out of energy that's not very rigid, but there can be that resistance to wanting to, come out of flow into structure.
The pitfall is the saying, I'm not good at this, I never will be. The pitfall is to say, I'm less, because Saturn
Mhm.
can be extremely challenging. It can say to you, you've got to be the best, you've got to be an expert, you've got to be these things. And so we have to give ourselves the grace of the process of it.
Mm, grace,
So,
nice.
but if we have a fixed mindset of, well, I'm not artistic or I'm not smart or something like that, that label is your escape. That's not Saturn and Aries.
That label is your escape, but it's not an escape towards something you want. It's an escape towards the door that's opening for you to move forward.
It's the escape from the responsibility
There you go.
that
Yeah.
becoming the authority in your life is.
Yeah. So then this will definitely push those fears, which could trigger addictions that help you avoid taking responsibilities because you failed once,
Oh yeah, we'll
or,
all slip back into it, but then we'll go, oh wait, I'm all wet again. What happened? And so then we get out of the pool, we dry off, and we go, yeah, okay. I don't have to do that
yeah.
anymore.
Uh, how do you avoid the pressure? Not avoid, how do you manage or transmute or utilize the pressure um, and that feeling of like I want to do something and then the pressure of Saturn to be perfect and maybe this need that we're now telling you of you to focus and pick something, and not get into burnout or not get into paralysis.
I think by channeling the Saturn energy in all the ways that Saturn is happy, and that would be structure your time, structure your environment. So if say working out is the goal, and you have already the busy schedule and you have the kids, etc., then you do what's the minimum effective dose, and you do that every single day, and that might be like 3 push-ups or something like that. And then you just say, like, I'm not getting to bed until I've done the 3 push-ups. Yeah, it's not the full workout. That perfectionism of, let go of the idea that it has to be the full hour workout.
Mm, yeah.
Because where Saturn does say, one brick on top of another builds the building. So we only got one brick done today. That's okay. But it's better than saying, I'm not going to do any bricks because I can't do 100 bricks.
Well, I used to have that problem. I mean, I still would do something, but yeah, it was always never enough.
And then the trick for it is to always know where you're going to start the next day. And so when you're finishing
Mm.
whatever it is, if it's some sort of continuing process, such as writing or you're doing some sort of artistic thing, you want to note where you've left off.
Nice. Okay.
So you should have a statement that says, I'm going to edit this paragraph next. Then you go in, you exactly know where to start. Because
Mm-mm.
we spend so much time going, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, or gathering the stuff to start, or where was I yesterday, type of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I accidentally erased something that I had written for my assistant Donna to do today. And it was amazing because my plan was, I'll just give her that and then I'm going to focus on this. And it took about 40 minutes out of my, morning. It was like somebody just came and got a bit, a chunk of my apple.
Hmm.
And it's okay. I go with the flow. But that idea right there of giving yourself simple tools,
Yes.
I know Chris would immediately go find some tech solution to that and then want me to learn some new tech thing. I would pick up a piece of paper and write it down. So, however you want to do a little thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
or put it in
Yeah.
my calendar.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so that because Aries wants to jump in, it's so you can just jump right in. And that is, you say, okay, I can write for 5 minutes a day. That's it. That's all the time I've got. So you make that 5 minutes really count by ending each session, the 5 minutes saying, tomorrow I'm going to start here.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. There's actually an enormous amount of power in that, whether you're writing a book or whatever it is, even if it's like I have 20 to-dos and I did one, and now I have to
Mm-hmm.
go to work, at home, let's say you have
Mm-hmm.
because there's something about just that little thing. But I used to be, could we just jump the Grand Canyon in one go? I don't
Yeah.
want this day-to-day stuff. And that's been long life of learning day-to-day is much better.
Well, and that is a problem with Aries because Aries does want it one and done.
Ah,
And
okay.
so, but if you can break things down, the bigger things into the smaller increments, then the one and done happens.
Right.
And you just have to remember our lives are happening anyway. So we
Uh-huh.
might as well put the things in that we really want to accomplish. And that includes if you want to go do something fun, like if you say, well, I want to go spend 6 months in Iceland.
No, thanks.
So, well, then
You
I'll
have
go.
fun.
I will
I will
go.
email you while I'm in the jungle.
But the idea would be then maybe the first day is the outline of how we're going to manifest this, and then the next day you start on number one, and maybe
Yeah,
that is the research part. Maybe that's the visualization part.
yeah.
So maybe that's calling up a friend and having them say, "Oh, no, no, don't go to Iceland."
I'm sorry. I know you love it there. So
I
I'm
do.
glad everybody loves something different because if someone gave me that assignment, I would say, you definitely got the wrong person. I would go to Guatemala for 6 months and live in the jungle with some Mayan elders, but so well now when you have these energies, you can channel them, right? I
Mhm.
mean, they're gonna feel like pressure and these things we've talked about, but it's fire, Aries is a fire sign. You can channel it into action, use it to ground. What are some other things?
So it's pretty simplistic. It's Aries. So, not to say that Aries people are simplistic, but the energy itself is basic and primal. It just says take action. It doesn't say plan or worry or anything. It just jumps in and does something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. So
Yeah.
we've got action
Mhm.
and structure
Yep.
and forward movement. We're not doing the retrograde. The retrograde you were talking about isn't coming until September.
Correct.
So you want to be spending now this next whatever days we have until this hits fully, because I'm sure we're feeling it already.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Realizing you're sliding out of Pisces, but you'll be back. You're moving with the different energies we've been talking about, moving into a very
Yeah.
different kind of energy. Take action, start a project, think about 2.5 years. Don't get overwhelmed and channel the pressure. What else?
Yeah. So they uh, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, that really sums it up. So that's the complete energy of it is that this idea that if you're in motion, right, the pressure that you're feeling actually becomes useful.
I love that. That's like a wisdom thing. You need to write a book of little wisdom statements.
I was going to embroider it on a pillow, but it's very time consuming.
Just do it virtually. It'll look like that.
So,
Oh, there's my virtual
so,
pillow.
and so speaking of the Aries and the fire, I got to get going.
Yes,
So,
yes. So that's what I was going to say is that the only other thing I wanted to say was that we're talking about masculine energy, right? In general, you're talking a little
Mhm.
bit, and right now we have a breakdown of what we perceive as masculine. We're seeing wounded masculine, and we're seeing overbearing masculine. We're saying all of that stuff. So, is there an underlying power in what we're doing now to reclaim a very powerful experience or relationship with that kind of energy?
I think that as we're in it, we will be able to feel that. We're still very much in the Pisces right now.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
so when we get into this energy, we are going to feel like let's let's take an action.
Hmm.
And it's that, I mean, how many of us had fathers who it was he was already in the car with the motor running, like, and we're like, hey, I don't even have pants on yet,
Yeah.
but Aries is that energy. It's like, let's go, people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah,
Well, thank you so much. I
yeah.
love you. Big hugs. Have a beautiful day.
I just want
And
to mention one little
yes.
thing, and that is I'm in a summit this May,
Oh, good.
and I'm talking about finding the best day to do anything.
That's one of my favorite things you do.
Yes, yeah. And this one's based on 5 element Chinese astrology. And so it's free to come, and I will send you the link, and you can, if people want to sign up. So
Yeah, good. Well, below you're going to see Donna's links. If you're on my list and you get the replay for this, you're going to see her links. And I'm also going to show your little graphic again now so people can check that out.
thank
Yeah,
you.
I saw that and I love that topic because, I don't know how many times I've hired you to say, okay, now I got to figure out what day to start this retreat and what day to do this and all
Yeah,
that. So,
yeah.
but very powerful. That is an extremely powerful practice and something that never occurred to me until a few years ago when I started working with you and has made a massive difference. So, thank you for doing that.
Sure, sure. So
All right. Thank you, sweetie. Bye-bye.
thank you. Bye, everyone.
Okay, isn't she wonderful? I love Donna so much. So I will be having her back on a regular basis. Don't worry about it. Like I said, please join her YouTube. Please go sign up for her things. She gives away so much wonderful, powerful information. One of the reasons we've become deep friends is that she has a very deep spiritual background. She used to own spiritual stores in New Mexico, and we have a perspective where we like to understand the energies to be able to apply them without being overloaded with the technical knowledge. Okay, so make sure that you check that out. And then also, I wanted to share with you that make sure that you come and check this out. It's going to become a regular show now, and we just did one. So make sure that you come because we're working with my Prosperity Magic Oracle deck. And these are sacred feminine mysteries. What does that mean? These are energies, these are essences, these are worlds, these are realities, these are concepts. This isn't like a person, a God. This is an energetic concept that is here to give you opportunities, love, realizations, support. Okay. All of the cards were formed by me channeling. I did ceremony. I called on these energies. I told them my intentions. I asked to come together. And over a year and a half, the energies came. I would tell Chris, he would do the art. We would go back and forth until the spirit was fully coming through the artwork. Then I would channel, I would talk to that artwork, and it would tell me who it was and what were the energies it's wanted to bring. So this is living. The class that we're going to be doing I highly recommend you come. We've got it on sale again. So get it. It's going to be starting in June, is an intuition awakening class. This is much more than learning to read oracle cards or to do readings. This is a whole quantum leap in your intuitive skills, in your ability to communicate visually, emotionally, 360 degrees, all of your different senses, all of your different light languages, all of your different intuitive powers are awakening now, and now's the time for that. So not only are the mysteries and the entities and the energies and the medicine, meaning the healing powers and the beauty and the love within each of these cards will envelop you. It comes alive. I'm going to show you all different ways of using cards that you may never have heard of before, that they become real, that they come off the page, that they glow, that you work with them, you dream with them, you walk with them. They become a part of your life. I'm going to give you new spreads to do, talk about other ways to use them, and we're going to actually be talking to some, there's 34 cards, so some of these energies, channeling them, doing readings for you if you're in the class, showing you how to, helping you interpret the symbols and the symbolic language. You have to become a master at symbolic language. It's just the way it is. So this is, these are my cards here in the background, and you can see the beautiful work. And that was the show we did last week. So the prosperity dream moving grandmothers are one of the cards that came through. And I channel live messages from the sacred feminine guides. We'll choose one each week together. They're going to give me a transmission. We're going to have a healing. We're going to have a sacred message. We're going to go whatever it is. But they're for your abundance. They're for your authority. They're for your alignment. They're for your inner fire. Last week was specifically for the full moon. And now that the full moon is over, we'll be dealing with other energies, okay? So just keep that in mind. Get subscribed on my list, or both, and get notifications here on my channel. Please share this channel. Please help me to reach more people. Please help us to grow those of us in the light that are creating, that are staying committed to staying on the side of the light, not buying into the fear, not replaying our patterns, not being part of the addiction, actually using these energies to grow. There's no right, there's no wrong. You're not doing it wrong. You didn't do it at the right time. You're in the right place at the right time. We need to gather and wake up people and let them know we're here. Now, I also want you to enjoy and come and see the show I did with Maria and the ones that we're going to be doing. Maria Wheatley, incredible expert of dowsing, Stonehenge, author of The Secrets of Stonehenge. She has lived there. She's spent her life studying sacred energies, sacred sites, earth energies, star energies, cosmic alignments. She discovered the long-skulled queens of this area. She's seen some of their skulls, and she communicates with them. And we have private access to Stonehenge with her. So it's going to be a really powerful thing. Now, it's not a sacred feminine magic retreat. That's the wrong title, especially in the sense that this is that no men are allowed. This is for everyone, but this is about focusing on the sacred feminine energies. This was a goddess temple, okay, and that's what's in her book. That's what's in her research. That's what she's revered for. She's all over Gaia TV, so go check her out. She's been on here many, many times. We did retreat last year. We've become very good friends. I'm speaking at her event, which I'll share with you also later in the fall. And I want you to know that in September, we're going to be with her. And then I'm also going to be doing another 3 days after that, me in Glastonbury, sacred work with the waters and the Lost Queens, Guinevere and Mary Magdalene, and so on. So what we're going to do is have I guess I'm going to pop out of here. I wanted to show you, let's see if I can do that real quick here, the class. So what happens is that if you go to shop.nanakasha.com and you, there we go, got it now, I'll share it with you. You'll see all of my courses and private sessions. This is a good time to get them. I am available over the year, the summer. So all of these things here. And I want you to check out this Oracle card magic. So every summer I do an Intuition Awakening course. And that course is a launching pad for most people's lives, taking them to a whole new level. we've had to delay the Oracle deck. I think we're going to be one of the only people who have an Oracle deck because of some of the things that have happened with China and so on. So we'll be getting them this summer. And so you're going to have 6 classes. Then there's going to be a certification, another 2 weeks of classes if you're interested in getting officially certified with this deck and this type of healing. And there's going to be so much more depth here, healing, mysteries, wisdom, knowledge, magic that I'm going to teach you that is not a part of normal oracle card reading. So this is part of my mystery school. This is a sacred magic mystery school. And what that means, magic to the ancient Maya was simply understanding energies. It's understanding the multiple dimensional layers of the universe, that we live in parallel dimensions, that we are a being that has a mental field and a spiritual field and a physical field and so on. That's what magic is. Magic is understanding these energies, not ignoring them, not denying them, not being afraid of them, and then knowing how to work with them, knowing how to change and do that. So come over here, check it out. Like I said, there's payment plans and there's all kinds of ways for you to check in, and you will get the deck and you will get all the recordings and you will get live readings and all of that. So I'm very, very pleased that we printed the deck ourselves last year, took them to England, sold out. And this is the only way to get them right now. However, in the future, we will have them for you. Just the deck alone. However, I would highly recommend that you do this. If you have any questions, please let us know. Maria, I gifted her with a deck, and she said that they're very intuitive and the energy comes right off the card, and that she doesn't even really need to look at the book. So it's quite a powerful experience. This is a healing tool that goes beyond a deck of cards. So I want to invite you into this world, invite you to where these beautiful beings that came to me and through me want to come through and be a part of your life and your evolution. So thank you for spending time with me and Donna. Have a beautiful and wonderful day. And I will see you soon on the Oracle of the Week. I hope to see you soon on the UK retreat or the upcoming Mayan retreats in the Magic Mystery School. And if there's anything else that I can do to serve you, to get your path of light energized. Just remember what Donna told us. It's time to step into action. And on that path, you will find the doors will open for you. Namaste. And Lakech, I am another you. And Lakin, you are another me. We are one. May this sacred circle be open, yet unbroken. And the peace, beauty, and grace of this moment go with us in our hearts, minds, thoughts, step, and every breath. And so it is. We offer this to the world, to the universe, to the Akasha, to bring love and light in a path of peace, harmony, and beauty. Thank you so much. Ciao.